嘿，大家好，欢迎大家来参加我们今天的雅思口语直播。这是我们第一次在礼拜六做，所以我不知道今天学生会比较多还是比平时少一点。对我来说，我希望有更多人，但是对你们来说，如果人不多，你们都会有更多说话的机会。所以也都不知道。我们等其他人过来的时候，我要分享一个跟外语学习有关系的意见，那就是如何找到合适你水平的阅读教材或者阅读内容。然后在说到这个的时候，我要谈论这个概念，就是I+1 sentences。I+1 sentences， 我猜，除非你们已经上了我的9 vocabulary 课程，你也许没有听说过 I+1 sentences 那个概念。一个 I+1 sentence 就是一句你几乎看得懂，但是还是不会看得懂的外语句子。所以 an I+1 sentence 就是你看那一句话的时候，有一个你看不懂的单词，或者有一个你看不懂的语法点，然后你检查那个词或者你检查那个语法以后，你就会看懂哪一句话。所以如果你看的某一句话有一个你看不懂的地方，那就是一个 I+1 sentence。I+1 sentence。如果有两个你看不懂的地方，有两个你需要检查的才会理解哪一句话意思的地方，那就是一个 I+2 sentence。然后如果没有什么你看不懂的地方，如果你一旦看到哪一句话，你立刻就理解它的意思，那就是一个 I+0 sentence。这为什么重要？我们选择要学习的阅读内容的时候，这个非常重要，因为如果我们选的内容有很多 I+2 或者 I+3 或者 I+4 句子，看懂那样的内容会太难，然后学习的效果不会很好。所以在选择你要学习的某一本书，或者比如说一个博客网站，或者某一个比较长的文章，在选择你要学习的外语内容的时候，你应该首先检查一下这个内容大多数的句子是 I+0 还是 I+1 还是 I+2 还是 I+3。然后如果你发现 I+2、I+3 和 I+4 的句子太多的话，那最后应该不要学习那样的内容。然后但是如果你发现大部分句子都是 I+0 或者 I+1，那可能就是一个很适合你当时水平的内容，然后应该去学习。所以所有学生都应该理解 I+ 什么什么 I+1 I+2 sentences 那个概念。然后如果你想多一点了解那个概念，有几个选择，你可以参加我在这边 CC Talk 的9 vocabulary 视频课程，在那个我就更详细的解释这个 I+ 什么什么那个概念，或者我也推荐你关注一个 YouTuber 叫 Matt vs Japan。那个人就是一个学习日语的美国人，但是他很了解外语学习的那个过程，然后在 YouTube 上有很多就是很有价值的关于外语学习的视频。然后他经常谈到那个概念，就是 I+1 sentences 那个概念，但是最近他不用 I+1 那个说法，他说 1T， 但是概念都一样。1T sentences I+1 sentences 是同样的概念，但是所有学习外语的人都应该理解 I+1 sentences 是什么，然后在学习阅读的时候应该针对包含很多 I+0 和 I+1 句子的内容。OK， 已经有大概20个人在线，所以我们可以开始今天的课，然后可以开始我们今天的第一个挑战。所以今天的 Part 1， 我们今天做的 Part 1练习是关于衣服，所以这边有4个关于衣服的词组，有4个中文词组，然后你要把这4个都翻译成英文，那就是我们今天的直播的第一个挑战。第一个回答对的人就可以做我们第一个回答 Part 1的学生。所以有4个有做的翻译，然后一起做，所以不要一个一个做，4个一起翻译成英文，然后发给我，所以不要一个一个做。所以 translate these word groups into English. First one 就是一条裤子，然后2件衣服，然后3条围巾，然后4副眼镜。不要一个一个做，4个都一起做，然后发给我。所以很多学生在说话的时候，在这一方面犯错，所以他们不知道如何说，比如说一副眼镜或者一件衣服之类的，很多学生都不太知道怎么说。还没有人回答。OK， 有一个回答。OK， 这个人有2个正确的，2个错误的回答。所以，一条裤子英语怎么说？2件衣服英语怎么说？还有 OK， 现在有3个人已经回答了，所以第二个人有3个正确的，有1个错误的。第4个人，第4个人有2个正确的，2个错误的。第5个人 James，Hello James，James 有2个，好像有2个对的。Mia，Hello Mia，Mia，a pair of trousers, 2 suits of clothes, 3 scarves, 4 pairs of glasses. Mia 有3个对的，1个错的。James 在回答，他改变了他的回答。A pair of trousers, 2 pairs of clothes, 3 pairs of scarves, 4 pairs of spectacles. No, sorry James. 2个正确的，2个错的。Julia, a pair of trousers, 2 pieces of clothes, 3 scarves, 4 pairs of glasses. 有意思。然后还有一个学生，1 pair of pants, 2 pieces of clothes, 3 scarves, 4 pair of glasses. 几乎对，但是不太对，所以我们已经有1个正确的回答，那就是 Julia， 恭喜你 Julia，well done Julia。然后还有一个学生 ，a pair of trousers, 2 pieces of clothes, 3 bars of skirt, no sorry， 4 pairs of glasses， 所以你有三个正确的回答，但是 Julia 全部都是对的，所以第一个就是一条裤子是 a pair of trousers，a pair of trousers， 2条裤子 ，2 pairs of trousers， 一条 1 pair， a pair， 2条 2 pairs，so well done， 然后2件衣服 ，2 pieces of clothes， 2 pieces of clothing or 2 pieces of clothes 都可以， So 2 pieces of clothes. Well done, Julia. 一件衣服 a piece of clothes. 我们不能说 a clothes. 我们必须说 a piece of clothes. 然后第三个就是 3 scarves. 3 scarves. 3条围巾 3 scarves. Well done. 我们不可以说 3 pieces of scarves, 3 pairs of scarves, 就是 3 scarves, 3 scarves. 然后眼镜就是 4 pairs of glasses, 4副眼镜就是 4 pairs of glasses. 一副眼镜就是 a pair of glasses. 我们不可以说 a glasses, 必须说 a pair of glasses. So Julia, Julia 是第一个回答对的。我给大家看这4个正确答案。所以第一个 a pair of trousers. 第二个 2 pieces of clothes. Or you can say 2 pieces of clothing, both would be okay. 第三个 3 scarves. 然后最后一个 4 pairs of glasses. Okay, well done, Julia. 所以 Julia 可以做我们今天的第一个回答 Part 1 的学生。So Julia, just turn on your microphone. So I've got some questions for you here now about clothes. Are you ready, Julia?
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic. Cool. Just let me get my pen. 1 second. Okay. Okay. Right. So Julia, what color of clothes do you like best?
I like black. I like black clothes the best among all colors of clothes, because black is classic and it can almost suit every styles. So and black can suit every other colors. Sometimes I wear a black shirt and blue jeans, and sometimes maybe. So that's why I like black the most.
Thank you. What kind of clothes do you never wear?
I never wear clothes that requires a lot of procedures to put on, because it's really time consuming, and I don't like wasting so much time on wearing clothes. So I never wear that complicated clothes.
Okay. And what kinds of clothes do you usually wear?
I usually wear that clothes which are very comfortable, and of course that are very that are pretty for at least for me. That is good clothes. Sometimes in weekdays I usually wear like trousers, sweater, or sometimes maybe hoodie, and with a pair of comfortable shoes like sneakers. And at weekends, sometimes I wear skirts, and at weekdays, I usually choose that clothes with a pair of pockets, because that's very convenient for me. But at weekends, because I usually carry a handbag with me, so pockets are not necessary.
Thank you. Okay. And so the last question is, do you wear the same type of clothes on weekdays and on weekends? But you've already kind of answered that already. So let me think of another question for you, Julia.
Yeah.
So how about, let's see. So do you like dressing up and putting on special clothes to go to special events?
Yes, I like it, because at special events, I have chances to wear that clothes that are very pretty, but in normal days I never wear, like the long very complicated skirts, or that sometimes can be very fancy, but I never wear them in normal days for example, at workplace. So because it may be so weird. But special events allow me to wear this kind of clothes, and I like the image of myself because when I am wearing this kind of clothes, I usually look pretty.
Very good. Okay. Well done, Julia. Good job. So I think those questions were not too difficult for you. You seem to be able to answer those questions very comfortably, and you produced very full answers to all those questions. You kept talking for a long time. That was good. And most of your sentences didn't have any mistakes. You produced a lot of error-free sentences, and you had the vocabulary that you needed to answer those questions. So overall, excellent, very good answers. So let's see. So I want to highlight some of the good vocabulary that Julia used there. So one good thing is, I think she was talking about what kinds of shoes she wears. She says, I like to wear a pair of comfortable shoes. That's a good expression. Most students say shoes. So you got to write a pair of shoes and a pair of comfortable shoes. Good collocation there, comfortable shoes. Well done. Let's see. So then I'm just going to correct a couple of little things. You didn't make many mistakes. I'm just going to correct maybe two small little mistakes. So just after that, after you said a pair of comfortable shoes, you said sneakers. Sneakers. So just like shoes, we can't say sneakers. We have to say
a pair of sneakers.
Exactly. Yeah, a pair of sneakers. So sneakers are basically, you could say, running shoes. 就是所以运动的时候会穿的鞋子. That's sneakers. So some other words for sneakers in English are like running shoes or runners. Some people say tennis shoes, but sneakers is a good word, so it's good that you know that word. Then in the last one, just a little missed collocation here. You said at workplace, when I'm at workplace or something like that. So we can't say at workplace. You missed a word there.
At the workplace.
Exactly. Very good, Julia. Yeah, you have to say at the workplace, or you could say at my workplace. Either of those would be okay, but we can't say at workplace. So it's either at my workplace or at the workplace. But overall, excellent job, Julia. Excellent English, and 4 very good answers. Well done. Thank you. All right. So now I'm going to pick some random people, another 2 or 3 students to answer these questions. So. So I better remind everybody, if you want to answer these questions, if anybody else wants to have a go, now is the time to put up your hand. 所以如果你要回答这些 Part 1问题，这些问题我已经复制到聊天窗口，所以都可以看。如果你要回答的话，可以现在就说一下。So I'm going to give everybody a few more seconds just to put up their hands if you're thinking about it. Don't be shy. This is probably the best time to answer questions because Part 1 questions are the easiest ones. So if you're not comfortable answering, if you're not comfortable talking out loud in English, it's going to get more difficult from here. Part 2 is going to be more difficult than Part 1. Part 3 is going to be more difficult than Part 2. So this is your best opportunity. All right. Okay, so we've got 6 people. So I'm going to randomly choose a number from my phone. The number is 2. So I'm going to get number 2, who is Zoe.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Hello, Zoe. I can hear you. Very good. All right. Okay, Zoe. So same questions for you about clothes. Question number 1. What color of clothes do you like best?
Well, actually, I don't have a preference towards what's the color I like, but usually I wear I like to wear the clothes with bright color like pink or black, or I like pink or blue because I think it makes me more energetic. But when I attend some ceremony or graduation, I will choose to wear black or white as my formal clothes.
Thank you. What kind of clothes do you never wear?
Well, I don't like to wear clothes that that's too big or too big or too short, because I think it don't fit me very well. And although some people think it makes me more small and more slim, but I think the clothes is better fit me.
Mm-hmm. And what kinds of clothes do you usually wear?
Well, I usually wear the casual clothes. Well, in my free time, I usually wear the t-shirts and a pair of trousers, because I think it makes me more free, and the comfort textures can make me feel more cozy.
Mm-hmm. And the last question, do you wear the same type of clothes on weekdays and on weekends?
Well, I think it depends. If in the weekends or in the weekdays I need to meet someone or have a dinner with others, I usually wear clothes more formal. But if I just stay with myself, the weekdays or the weekends, I usually wear the same style, just as I say before, the casual clothes.
Thank you. Okay, thanks, Zoe. All right, pretty good job as well. Pretty good job. So pretty accurate English, and you didn't make too many mistakes, and you produced a lot of good sentences, and you had some good vocabulary. Maybe your weak point might be fluency. So at the moment when you're talking, there's almost a little bit of a space, a little bit of a gap between every word. So what you've got to try and develop as you practice speaking more and more is the ability to produce words all together. So to produce chunks of words as opposed to kind of single words and then another word. So for example, let's say you wanted to say 我喜欢黑色的衣服. 我喜欢黑色的衣服. And so an ideal way to say it would be I like black clothes. I like black clothes. The way you're saying that kind of thing now is a bit like I like black clothes. It's a little bit like that. So as you practice more, your fluency will get better, and you'll start producing more words kind of that flow together, and you'll start producing full sentences in one breath. So that's maybe the slight weak point of your English, but your accuracy is quite good. As I said, you produced a lot of good sentences. Let's see. So let me share one piece of good vocabulary that Zoe used there. This was this expression. Casual clothes. Well done. She said she likes to wear casual clothes. That was good, Zoe. Well done. Good piece of vocabulary. It's a type of expression that every student should know, and you know it and you used it well. Let's see, a couple of little corrections. So in the second answer, you said I think you said I don't like clothes that are too big or too short. Too big or too short. So big and short don't match each other. That's not a pair. You know what? So what's the opposite of big?
Small.
Good. What's the opposite of short?
Long.
Exactly. Good. So if you use one, you should use the other. So it's either I don't like clothes which are too big or too small, or I don't like clothes which are too long or too short. Then in your last answer, you said if I have a dinner with others. If I have a dinner with others.
If I have a dinner with others.
Yeah, so there's a little mistake there. Does anybody know what is the little mistake that Zoe made there? So she has a word there that she should not have. Yeah, Mia knows it. So it's to have dinner with someone. So it's not to have
dinner.
It's not
have a dinner, just have dinner.
Exactly. Good. And one last one. You said like if I have dinner with others, you said, I wear clothes more formal. I wear clothes more formal. So you've got the word order mixed up there.
Formal. Formal clothes.
Good. Try the full sentence. Try the full sentence.
Wear formal clothes.
That's better. Yeah. So also you have the word more. So it should be, I wear more.
I wear
more formal clothes.
More formal clothes.
Because I'm pretty sure what you meant was 我会穿相对正式的衣服. So if that's what you meant, then that's I wear more formal clothes. That would be it. Okay. All right. Thanks, Zoe. Good job overall. Thank you. Cool. Okay. Let me get the next student. I'm gonna get my phone for a random number. Okay. And the random number is 8. We've only got 7 people, so I've got to get another random number. Okay. The next random number is 2. Again.
John.
Hello, Mia. John. Hi, Mia.
Hi.
Okay, cool. I can hear you. All right. So same questions for you, Mia. All about clothes. What kind? Or sorry. What color? What color of clothes do you like best?
I like black or white clothes because these clothes are very usual for us to wear, and these two color clothes can match other clothes very well. Like I can wear black clothes. I can wear black t-shirt, black trousers to match a white t-shirt, or I can wear a pair of running shoes. Then I think it is very convenient for me to do anything.
Thank you. What kind of clothes do you never wear?
I think I never wear the clothes that for cosplay because I think these clothes are not suit for me, and actually I don't like these clothes because I'm not a fan of any comics, and I think these clothes may be a little bit wild for me, and I think I will never wear these clothes in my life.
Thank you. What kind of clothes do you usually wear?
I usually wear some casual clothes, like t-shirt, jeans, and hoodies, because we are in the winter now, and now I usually wear some sweaters, so it can make me warm, and these casual clothes can make me more comfortable and convenient, and these casual clothes are very suitable for many events, like when I shop with my friends or travel to some place. They are very nature for me.
Do you wear the same type of clothes on weekdays and on weekends?
Yeah, almost always, because I'm a college student. I don't have a lot of formal events to enter, so most of the time I wear some casual clothes, and I wear some hoodies or sweaters, and so I think maybe sometimes I will wear a suit to have an interview, but most of the time I wear casual clothes.
Okay, very good. All right, okay. Thanks, Mia. All right, so overall, very good job, Mia. A lot of good sentences there, very complete answers. You spoke very fluently, and you had some good vocabulary. Here's one I want to tell or I want to kind of remind everyone about. That's almost always. So the question was, do you wear the same clothes on weekdays and on weekends? And Mia said yes, almost always. That's a good expression. A lot of people get this expression wrong because they just say almost. For example, they say I almost wear clothes. When they, or let's say I almost wear black clothes. When they mean I almost always wear black clothes. So that's a good one, Mia. And so a lot of good sentences. Overall, your rate of errors was not very high. So you had some errors, of course, but not too many, and you produced a lot of good sentences. Let me pick out a couple of corrections, a couple of the more important corrections. In the first answer, there was one thing that I didn't quite understand. You talked about how you like to wear white clothes and black clothes, and you explained that pretty well. You explained it pretty clearly, except for this sentence. You said, these clothes are very usual for us to wear. So it's definitely not usual. The word is not usual that you want there. So I don't.
Nature.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to do. No, it's not nature either. So I'm not sure.
Maybe I could say I wear these color clothes usually.
That would be right. Yeah, that would be right. Like you said, I usually wear these clothes. I usually wear these color clothes. What were you trying to say? Tell us in Chinese. What were you trying to say, and we can figure out how to say that.
我想说这两种颜色，就是比较的比较的普遍，就是大家都会穿这两种颜色，比较百搭。
Okay, very good. All right, so let's see how would you guys say that. So I've got one or two ideas about how I would say that. Let's see how would you guys say that. So send me a message, and let's see how you guys would express that in English, and let's see if we can get somebody who would express it perfectly in English. So basically, as Mia said, what she's trying to say here is like 这两种颜色比较普遍，就是很多人会穿。Yeah, right. I'm going to start writing. Yeah, so Wendy has a good idea. So yeah, Wendy's word is common. So yeah, it's common for us to wear these colors. Maybe it's very common for us to wear these two colors. And that's a good one. Okay. Any other ideas before I send my translation? Anybody else have an idea how to say this? I'll give you guys 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. So you could say these two colors are very popular. These two colors are very popular. Paige also has one. These colors are versatile and they would easily pair with others. That's not the same meaning, Paige. You've gone away from the original sentence there. So I think the best words are probably popular or common. So yeah, these two colors are very popular, or these two colors are very popular. Sorry, these two colors are very common, or these two colors are very popular. Either of those would be okay. Then in the second answer, you said, these clothes are not suit for me. These clothes are not suit for me. So I understand what you mean there, but it's not. That's not how we say that.
These clothes are not suitable for me.
Good. Okay, that's better. That's better. Okay. These clothes are not suitable for me. There's another way we would say that. I wonder if anybody knows how to say this. There's a more natural way we would say this in English. I say, okay, this person. We got one person has an idea. He or she says, this color doesn't suit me. Doesn't suit me. Okay. No, not fit me. Fit me is different. Suit me. Yeah, okay. When he says this piece of clothes, not cloth. When the cloth is completely different. This piece of clothes doesn't suit me. So it doesn't suit me. So something, it suits me or it doesn't suit me. So basically, to suit someone is like 适合. And let's see, and then fit me is different. So something, it fits me or it doesn't fit me, that's completely different. That's to do with the size of the clothes. 所以如果打哨不合适，你可以说 it doesn't fit me. Or 如果打哨很完美，那就是 it fits me. So to suit me and to fit me are two different colors. Or sorry, two different ideas, two different concepts.
Okay.
Okay, and let's see. And then in the last one you said most time I wear. Most time I wear. So it's not most time.
Most of time.
Sorry, not quite right. Anybody know how can we say 大多数时候? Not most time, not most of time. Yes, Wendy knows. Well done, Wendy. Well done, Wendy.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. Thank you, Wendy. And I'll write it again for everybody, just so we're clear. Most of the time. So pretty much anytime you want to, in English, when you want to say 大部分时候 or 大多数时候, that is most of the time. Most of the time. Okay, Mia, good job today. A lot of good sentences, a lot of very good, complete answers. So well done. Thank you for those. And I'm gonna right. Okay. Okay, so we should move on now to our part 2 and to our second challenge of the day. First of all, I want to remind everybody, 所以我们暂时有大概50个人在看这个直播，我估计你们都在准备雅思，所以如果你想提高你的口语分数的话，我欢迎大家跟我每一个礼拜上两节小组课，所以每一节课每个班级只有3个人或者也许有4个人，然后我每一次讲课至少90分钟，绝大多数时候我都超出时间，也许讲课到2个小时或者更多，所以然后我们最近有一些人上了那个小组课以后就超出了他们原来的雅思级别，有一些人已经考了好几次雅思，然后一旦上了我们的我的那个小组课以后，第一次考雅思以后，他们分数要提高，所以你想参加哪些课的话，你只要关注我微信公众号，就是 Learn with John， 然后给 Lin 发个消息，我们好像也许在接下来的1-2个礼拜没有什么空位，但是从这个月底之后应该会有一些空位，所以如果你尽可能快的定位置的话，那你肯定应该可以从从这个月底就开始跟我上那些小组口语课。Okay, so now let's move on to our second challenge. Second challenge, like the first challenge, it's also about clothes, but this time we've got to translate a sentence. So it's not groups of words, it's one sentence. So basically, very simple. Translate this sentence into English. Translate this sentence into English. What is their sentence? 起床以后我洗个澡，化好妆，穿上衣服。How would we say this in English? And again, the first person who translates this correctly can be our first person to enter part 2 when we start practicing part 2. So again, how would we say this in English? 起床以后我洗个澡，化好妆，穿上衣服。So we've already got 11 people waiting to speak. So your best chance to speak and your best chance to answer this part 2 is to win our competition, to win our challenge. We've already got Wendy. And then put my code. Okay, Wendy's translation is pretty good, but it's not quite right. Not perfect. Then James's translation, I will have a shower, I will have a shower, have a makeup, and put on my clothes after getting up. Not quite right, James. Not quite right. Sorry. Next student, after got up, I took a shower, put on some makeup, and put on my clothes. Almost. The grammar, that's pretty good, but the grammar is not quite right. Not quite right. Mia has one. After I get up, I dress up, take a shower and do the makeup. And no, sorry, not dress up. Dress up has a different meaning. Dress up means like, 如果你去参加某一个很特别的活动，比如说如果你去参加婚礼，你会 dress up， 就是穿很特别的衣服，那就是 dress up。还有一个学生 ，When I get up, I always take a shower, wear makeup, and then put on my clothes. Not quite right. Almost, but not quite right. And another student, after got up, I took a shower, made up, and put on some clothes. No. Another student, after I waked up, I took a shower and put on some makeup and then wear some clothes. No, sorry, Paige, I take a shower after I wake up, then I will make up and put on my clothing. No, sorry, Paige, a few mistakes there. Another student, after getting up, I usually take shower and make up. Finally, I put on clothes. No, sorry. Meredith, after getting up in the morning, I take a shower, do my makeup, and get dressed. Pretty good, Meredith. Pretty good. Okay, I think that's our first fully correct answer. Well done, Meredith. So then let's see, Jesse. After getting up, I would take a shower and do some. Why would you do that? It's not that you would do that, Jesse. It's just that you do that. Okay. Anyway, so Meredith. Well done, Meredith. Good job. Meredith is our first one who got it right. So she said after getting up in the morning. No, there's no need for in the morning. There's no need for that expression. But anyway, it still makes sense. After getting up in the morning, I take a shower, do my makeup. Yes, exactly. To do your makeup. And to get dressed. The good expressions. Well done. So 化妆就是 to do makeup, to do my makeup, to do your makeup, or you could also say to put on makeup, and to get 穿上衣服 to get dressed, or you could say to put on your clothes. So Meredith's translation is good, is accurate. Here's another translation that you could say. I'm going to send it to you now. And it's so after I get up, I take a shower, put on my makeup and my clothes, or you could just say put on my makeup and put on my clothes. Any of those would be okay. Let's see, have we got a few more translations? Julia, after I got up, I took a shower, wore makeup, and put on my. Sorry, it's not wore makeup. It's put on makeup, or do makeup, and you could say to do your makeup or put on your makeup. Okay, so well done, Meredith. Good job, Meredith. So I see Meredith already has her hand up. So Meredith, you're going to be the first one to answer our part 2 topic today. So let's look at our part 2 topic. I'm going to send it to you guys now. Okay, our part 2 topic, describe a time when you forgot something important. Describe a time when you forgot something important. So this is your part 2 topic for today. As usual, you're going to have 1 minute to prepare this topic, and then you're going to have to try and speak for 2 minutes. 所以每个人都要1分钟准备这个话题的时间，然后那1分钟的时间现在开始。Okay, I'm back. You've had your 1 minute of time to prepare. So given that Meredith was the one who got the challenge number 2, or second challenge correct, I'm going to go to Meredith first and give her a chance to answer this part 2. Hi, Meredith. I'm just turning on your microphone now, but sometimes it takes 5 seconds or 10 seconds to come on, so it might take a little bit of time. Oh, sorry, Meredith, it didn't come on. Sorry, Jessica, she told me I'm sure how to went. Oh, okay, Meredith. I think it's on now. Hello, Meredith. Can you hear me?
Yeah, great.
Good. Okay, and I can hear you. Fantastic. All right, Meredith. So, tell us about a time when you forgot something important.
Well, I was searching for it, but I couldn't find anything that I did. I'm so sorry. I just couldn't find a thing to talk about.
Okay, you're not going to do this part 2.
I don't think so because I couldn't find one. I'm so sorry.
Are you going to do the IELTS exam, Meredith? Are you preparing for IELTS?
Yeah. I'm
okay,
just, I'm just started.
Okay, when are you going to take the exam?
Probably like 1.5 months later.
Okay, 1.5 months from now. Okay, so before the exam, definitely familiarize yourself with the topics. There's going to be 50 different topics, and you can get any one of those 50. So you really need to have an idea for every one of those 50 topics before you take the exam. Otherwise, you might find yourself in this situation, and your score isn't going to be good if you can't enter part 2 at all. Okay, so that's an important thing. Anyway, thanks, Meredith. Okay, so opportunity for you guys. So I'm going to choose one of you guys at random. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to get number 9. So again, I'm trying to turn on your microphone, but it's taking a little bit of time. So 这个 CC talk 系统有时候需要一段时间才让我打开人的麦克风。我不知道为什么，有时候就是很快，但是有时候需要时间。Okay, I think your microphone is on. Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cool. What's your English name?
Jen. You can call me Jen.
Jane. Okay, Jane. All right. And so, Jane, our topic is a time when you forgot something important. So, tell us about a time when you forgot something important.
Okay. So I would love to talk about the last time when I forgot my key. It's about 1 week ago when I was walking outside and walking my dog outside, and started to like thinking about my breakfast at home, but it turned out I left my key at home, so I was really nervous about if I can how can I enter my home, because my husband was on business trip. That was a really an emergency for me, but I immediately I immediately called my husband to get my how can I get home without the key. But what surprised was that he told me that he actually left a key at one of our friends' home. So I went to their home, and in the end, it's been the issue has been solved, and I was very happy about that. But after this time, I really should learn from it, because I
Thank you, Jane. Okay, good job, Jane. Well done. So I did. Don't worry, I didn't let you finish the 2 minutes because I want to give more other people a chance to speak. But overall, that was very good, Jane. Very good, a very good answer. So first of all, it was a good idea for something to talk about. It sounded like a typical normal thing that could happen to anybody. I think it's probably happened to all of us at some time, that we've left our key in the apartment and we couldn't get in. So first of all, it's a good story, logical story. Second of all, you explained the story very well, and you explained the story very clearly. There was nothing that I didn't understand. There was nothing that didn't make sense. You didn't use any crazy vocabulary, any really weird expressions. The vocabulary you used was good. common, normal vocabulary that native speakers would use when we were talking about this. And you spoke pretty fluently. Your pronunciation is very accurate. Didn't make any pronunciation mistakes that I noticed. So overall, very good quality of answer, Jane. So well done for that. I'm just going to correct a couple of little things. So maybe two little things. Just the one thing you need to be careful of is your first sentence, the very first sentence when you start your part 2. So I've got a video about this on Drihu and on Bilibili where I explain what you should say in the first sentence. What you said was not right, really. It didn't really make sense. You said, I would love to talk about. I would love to talk about something. I would love to talk about the time when I lost my key or something like that. That's not appropriate, Jen. We can't say I would love to talk about. This sounds really weird. So I wonder, does anybody else know? What should we say at the beginning of part 2? 所以我在那个Bilibili上、知乎上的视频说了，大家在开始 part 2回答的时候，应该说什么？应该用什么英语做你 part 2的开始？没有人知道吗？ Yep, Mia knows. Okay, so as Mia says, I'm going to talk about, just like that. I'm going to talk about, or I'm going to tell you about. Yeah, okay. So what's wrong with I would love to? We can only use I would love to when you really are doing something that you would love to do. So here, you wouldn't love. It's not true. It's not like, oh, wow, I would love to tell you about the time I lost my key. I'm so excited. That doesn't make sense, Jane. So it's not appropriate to say I would love to talk about. You could say I would like to. That would be okay. I would like to talk about the time when I lost my key. That would be okay. But I would love to is not appropriate in this context. Okay. Let's see. Maybe one other little correction. So you said that was a really emergency for me. That was a really emergency for me. So a small little mistake there.
That was.
Yeah, you said that was.
So that was an that I should say that was emergency.
So yeah, so there's a couple of ways you could say. You could say that was not a really emergency, but that was a real emergency. A real emergency. Or you could just say that was an emergency for me. So I'll write the first example. That was a real emergency for me. Or you could say, that was really an emergency for me. So either of those would be okay. So either that was a real emergency for me, or that was really an emergency for me. Either of those would be okay. But anyway, not many mistakes at all, Jane. A lot of good sentences, so a very good quality answer. Thank you. Good job. Talk to you again. Bye-bye. Okay, so let me get one or two more people to enter this one. I'm going to get a random number from my phone. This number is 5. Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
No, I can, yeah. What's your name?
Okay, you can call me Jane. It's a really
Jane too, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, Jane. Okay. Right. So Jane, tell us about a time when you forgot something important.
Okay. I'm going to tell you about last time I forgot my meeting in my home. Well, it was very cold. It's a very freezing winter, and I have to get out of home and go to my part-time job at the school as a teacher. Well, and I have to ride my bicycle. My bicycle is I can get there really, really fast, but the winter wind will come right up my face, and so I have to wear my hats, my gloves, and a very large scarf. But at that time, I get down the stairs, I got my bicycle, but I found out that I forgot my mitten. I don't have enough time to get back at home and get that. so I decided just go with that. Well, it turns out to be very, very unbelievable. Well, I tried to ride my bicycle with just one hand, and the other hand I will keep warm with my near my mouth and try to warm them, but it came out that I can't do that, and there was a really little piece of ice on the road, and I remember pretty clear at that time. I watched that ice, but I can't avoid it, and so I end up in the emergency room in the hospital. Well, that is quite unforgettable, and that is the worst. That is the worst thing I could live at my home, but I did. Well, I guess
Thank you.
that's all.
Okay, thank you. All right, Jane. So some good things and some bad things about that answer. So you spoke quite fluently, and your pronunciation is very good. So there's two important problems. First problem, I don't know what you forgot. I think you forgot a glove. Is that what you forgot? A glove.
Yeah.
Okay, right. I don't know what word you were saying there, but it didn't sound anything like glove. So for a lot of the answers, like what the fuck did you forget? I couldn't understand. So what you forgot was a glove.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think I bring up my glove or mitten, didn't I?
Oh, a mitten. You said a mitten. What's a mitten?
I don't know. I just
Okay. I think a
remember that
mitten. It might be
vocabulary.
one kind of special kind of glove, maybe, but
Okay.
it's not a word that anybody uses really, or almost never uses.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not. Yeah, so what you forgot was your glove. One of your gloves. So you remembered one glove, you forgot one glove. So I forgot one of my gloves. Okay. So that was one problem. The other problem, just the believableness of the story, Jane. It doesn't sound like a believable story. That you forgot a glove and then you crashed your bike and you went to hospital. It sounds a bit too dramatic, you know.
But it's
Is this a
real.
true story? Is it true?
Yes.
Okay, but I
Yes.
don't understand what's the connection between not having a glove and crashing your bicycle. I'm not sure.
Because if you didn't wear a glove, and especially in winter, it will be really freezing. That
Okay.
you,
Okay, and you lost concentration.
your hands will hurt like hell. So
Okay.
I
So you lost
just
concentration.
keeping my hand in the glove. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
But it's real.
But there was still, apart from those little problems, apart from those problems, there was a lot of good stuff in your answer. So you said a lot of good sentences, and you pronounced your words quite accurately, and you pronounced the sentences quite accurately. There was a good flow to your language. You had good fluency and good pronunciation. Let's see. There was just maybe one little grammar about your grammar. So a lot of the time you're not remembering to put the verb into the past. So a lot of the time you're there in your answer, you were using the present tense. Like a couple of times you said, I have to, when of course you should have said, I.
Yeah.
You should have said, I had to, because this is a story from the past, Jane. So the verb, the past. Another time you said, I get, it should be, I got. And there was a couple of others. Like, I end up in the emergency room, it should be, I ended up. And so when you're practicing these part two answers, be careful and be mindful that most of these topics are about the past, and they're about some things that happened in the past. So most of the time you're going to be needing to use the past tense. So practice that as you're preparing for the exam. Practice using the past tense. Okay. Let's see. Those are the main points. You said maybe one other little mistake. You said I get down the stairs, and so it's not to get downstairs. It's to it's to go downstairs. To go down. Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Perfect. Yeah. So I went downstairs. So it's to go upstairs, to go downstairs. So then in the past it should be I went downstairs. But overall, pretty good, Jane. A lot of good language in your response. So thank you. Right. I'm going to get one more student for this. You're welcome. One more student for our task 2 today, and that's going to be number 1.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. What's your name?
You can call me Shirley.
Hi, Shirley. Okay, cool.
Thanks.
Okay, Shirley. So tell us about a time when you forgot something important.
Okay. I'm going to talk about my internship episode last year. Last year, I had an internship about psychological therapy because my major is psychology. I went that jail and teach some psychological knowledge for my prisoners. I remember one time some prisoners told me they want to read some books about psychology. But then I forgot that thing because I was busy with my graduate paper. When I got that prisoner, I found they asked me that item. I forgot it totally. I directly told them they got disappointment. Actually, that was my last time going that prisoner. From that moment, I felt guilty and sad, even though they told me that they could understand me. Also that in this way, that situation have took over my brain for a long time. Maybe in the future I will promise cautiously before I should talk about others. I suppose promise is vital for everyone, especially for some special people. Just I mentioned prisoners. Yeah,
Thank
maybe
you.
next
Okay,
time
thanks,
I will
thanks,
do
thanks,
better.
thanks,
Yeah.
thanks, thanks, thanks. Okay, thanks, Shirley. All right, okay. So well done. You got through the answer. You spoke for more than a minute and a half there, and I think you could have kept talking if you'd needed to. So good job in keeping talking. Pretty good job in your fluency. You sounded pretty fluent in your answer. So it was not a bad answer. I could understand the answer. Yeah, I could understand the answer. I could understand the points you were making. So that was good.
Okay.
The main problem is you're mixing up the words prisoner and prison. Prisoner and prison. You're mixing up those words. And so which one is a person? Is a person a prison or is a person a prisoner?
Prisoners.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
right.
prisoners.
So the place is a prison. The place is a prison, and the people are prisoners. And so you were getting those. So you were, for example, you said the last time I went to my prisoners or something like that. It should be the last time I went to that prison. The last time I went to that prison, or you could say the last time I went to visit those prisoners. Let's see. The first sentence again. So you said I'm going to talk about, and that's good. Okay, that's a good way to start. I'm going to talk about. But you said I'm going to talk about my my internship something, and I didn't get what the next word was. Episode.
Yeah.
No, we can't. No, that doesn't make. That's not a qualification. You could just say I'm going to talk about my internship. That would be okay. Or you could just say I'm going to talk about something that happened during my internship. So I'm going to talk about my internship, or I'm going to talk about something that happened during my internship. Either of those would be okay.
Okay.
Okay. Another time. Let's see. One more correction. So a little bit of a pronunciation correction here for this word. You're not saying this word correctly.
Promise.
Yeah, not bad. Earlier, when you were speaking earlier, you were kind of saying promise. You weren't pronouncing the R. So the correct pronunciation is promise.
Promise. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So those are the main points. Shirley, thank you. So not a bad answer overall. I could understand your answer generally. So thank you. All right, we're going to move on to our third challenge and part 3 in a moment. But first of all, I want to talk about another thing that you guys are going to be able to do with Learn with John in the near future. 所以我已经跟你们说，如果你想找我来帮助你们提高你的口语，你可以参加我们 Learn with John 小组课。在那些课有3个或者4个学生，每一个班级会有3到4个学生。但是也许从1月份开始，或者也许就是从12月 中旬或者12月底开始，我们也会提供1对1的课，1对1的准备口语课。是我给你们讲1对1的课吗？肯定不是，因为我太懒，然后我时间不够多，所以我们招聘其他老师来提供1对1课。但是我们招聘的老师有一些特点，我们尽量找到要成年以后学会外语的经验的老师。所以我们已经找了一个就是我认识的一个很喜欢学习外语的朋友。他是大概我不知道多大，大概30岁的英国人。外语学习在很多外语他得到了很高的级别，特别是西班牙语和加泰罗尼亚语，他也会中文。然后他就是超级喜欢学习外语，像我一样。然后他也要教别人英语和教别人不同语言的经验。所以我们也许从12月底或者从1月份开始也提供1对1的课。然后你也可以比如说每个礼拜2次参加我的小组课，然后每个礼拜2次参加其他老师的1对1课。我们在那边全部都会安排，所以那个是也许就是最快的提高口语的方法。但是参加哪些课的时候，你当然也要做很多输入练习。所以如果你参加哪些课，然后不练习听力，不练习阅读，你进步不会很快。所以都要做，你要练习口语，但是也要练习听力和阅读。然后如果如果你想1对1的练习口语的话，就要关注我公众号，然后练习Lin会告诉你如何参加那些1对1的课。Okay, so let's get back to our practice. And we're going to go on to another challenge. This one is slightly different. So this one is not about clothes. This one is about words related to forgetting and remembering. So here I've got 4 sentences in English. I just sent you guys 4 sentences in English. And in all the sentences, there's a word missing. And I've given you the Chinese for that word. So you've got to complete these sentences basically. So you've got to think, how would you say this in English? What is the way to express this in English? So the first sentence, his English is terrible because he studies by 北单词. And also remember, this should be an ing. So this should be an ing verb. So what is the verb for 北单词? What is the verb? And remember that it should be an ing verb. 不要一个一个发答，你先想起来那四个问题的回答，然后一起发给我。第二个就是 I something that person's name. I 想不起来那个人的名字。I 想不起来 that person's name. How would you say that in English? 第三个 this part of the museum, something, the Second World War. This part of the museum 纪念 the Second World War. So what is that? How can we complete that sentence? And the fourth one is I still something, the story my grandfather told me. I still 记得 the story my grandfather told me. So here we've got some different expressions, all related to memory, all related to memory and forgetting things, and remembering things. So how can we say these in English? How can we complete these sentences in English? I've got some videos about these words on Bilibili. So if you follow my Bilibili, you should be able to answer these. And again, the first person to answer correctly these 4 questions, or to complete these 4 sentences correctly, that person will be our first person to answer our part 3 questions. And of course, our part 3 questions are all about forgetting things and remembering things. Okay, still no answers. I'm still waiting on some answers. So I think some of them are pretty easy. I think the 4th one should be pretty easy. The 2nd one should be pretty easy. And then the 1st one and the 3rd one might be a little bit difficult. All right, so we've got one answer. So the first person says, his English is terrible because he studies by memorizing vocabularies. And then the second one, he says, I couldn't that person's name. So you forgot a verb there. You didn't have a verb. The third one, this part of the museum memory, the Second World War. Nope, sorry, memory is a noun. That's not a verb. And the fourth one, he says, I still remember the story my grandfather told me. Okay, maybe that's okay. And let's see the next one. So the next student to answer is Wendy. So Wendy says he studies by memorizing words, right? And she says, I can't recall that person's name. And this part of the museum commemorates the Second World War. And I still remember the story my grandfather told me. Wendy, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Not completely right, though. Not completely right, but a good effort, a good try, but not completely right. The next one is Teresa. So Teresa says, his English is terrible because he studies by memorizing vocabulary. She says, I can't remember that person's name. She says, this part of the museum memorizes the Second World War. And she says, I still remember the story my grandfather told me. Pretty good, Teresa, pretty good, but not perfect, not perfect. You've got one wrong there, one wrong. Lee says, his English is terrible because he studies by expanding vocabulary. Says, I have forgotten that person's name. This part of the museum commemorates the Second World War. And I still remember the story my grandfather told me. So you've got, Lee, you've got one big mistake and one little mistake. Next one, Anna says, memorizing vocabulary. She says, I can't recall that person's name. And she said, memorizes the Second World War. And then she says, remember. So, sorry, at least one mistake there. Harry, remembering words. No, big answer is not remembering words. Something forget. So, the other answers seem pretty good though, Harry. Then Zoe, his English is terrible because he studies by remembering English words. Nope. I can't recall that person's name. Perhaps right. This part of the museum in memory of the Second World War. Nope. And I still remember the story my grandfather told me. Yes. Okay, Zoe. So that's two. You got two right. All right. So let's see. I'm trying to remember. Did anybody get? I don't think anybody got them right, but I think Wendy was very close. Yeah, so Wendy was very close. So I'm gonna say Wendy won because she just one tiny little mistake. So the first one, it should be his English is terrible because he studies by, and big answer, that is memorizing. So the verb you need is memorizing, not remembering. So it's memorizing vocabulary. So big answer is to memorize vocabulary, or you could just say memorizing words, to memorize words or to memorize vocabulary. And it's not remembering. Remembering would be wrong there. And the second one, means that's I can't. So there's a few ways you can say this. I can't remember, or I can't recall, or I can't think of. And I can't think of that person. That would be okay as well. Somebody's asking, is reciting all right? Nope. Nope, that is not. A lot of people say recite vocabulary. Nope, it's not recite. It's memorize vocabulary. Then the third one, so it should be this part of the museum commemorates. So it commemorates. So Wendy said commemorate. So that's almost right, but not quite right. The correct one is it commemorates the Second World War. And then the last one is the easiest one really. It's I still remember the story my grandfather told me. Okay, so here we've got a few different expressions all to do with memory and remembering things and forgetting things, and these are expressions that a lot of students get wrong. So if you can learn these and learn the correct use of these, then you're going to avoid making a lot of mistakes that most students make, and your English is going to sound better, and your examiner is going to be impressed with your English if you can learn these and avoid making these mistakes that most students make. All right, so our part 3 topic is all about remembering things and forgetting things. Wendy was the one who answered almost right, so I'm going to go to Wendy first for to give her a chance to answer these part 3 questions. Hello, Wendy.
Hi, John.
Hi, good. Okay, I can hear you.
Okay.
All right, Wendy. So question number 1. What kinds of things are easy to forget?
Okay. I think unnecessary things are more easy to forget because some necessary things like car keys or door keys, because we need to use them every day. So I think it's not the chance is not big to forget about things like that. And unusual things like for example, a birthday gift for a relative, because we don't give gifts for this relative every year, so maybe sometimes we forget their birthdays, so we forget about buying a gift for them. Yeah.
Okay. And what kinds of people often forget different things?
Can you say it again, please?
Yeah. What kinds of people often forget things?
Yeah, I think reckless people always forget things because the personality is like they are usually reckless and they are very immature. So they don't care about much things around them actually. I think this case happens a lot among teenagers because teenagers are obviously immature. And sometimes they just decide things randomly, so they are easy to forget things, and they seldom care about the consequences because the parents are usually responsible for them. So they don't have the need to remember things because once they, for example, they forget the car keys or they forget the book, they always have the parents to send the things for them. But yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you. So these days, if we forget some information, we can easily find it on the internet. So do you think that having a good memory is less important now than it was in the past? Or is it more important now or as important now?
Yes, I think having a good memory is more important now because as we have more tools to help us to remember things, such as the internet or the reminders on our smartphones. So everybody get a reminder to tell us what to do. So I think a good memory is accordingly becoming a more and more extraordinary attribute of a person, such as it makes you more different from the other people because you have the good memory while the other people don't. So maybe some.
But why is it useful? Why is it practically useful to have a good memory these days?
Okay. Having a good memory is useful for some special areas like language. If you want to do some jobs in the area of language study, maybe you want to be an interpreter. So obviously you need a very good memory to memorize all those vocabulary. And otherwise you can't do this job because you don't have enough vocabulary to deal with all the translations and interpretations for the process of your work.
Thank you. Okay, Wendy, well done. Okay, very good job overall. Very good answers, and so you sounded very comfortable giving those answers. And so even though these are part 3 questions, and these are the hardest questions in the exam usually, they didn't seem difficult for you, Wendy. You were able to understand those questions clearly and give very well thought out and fluent and accurate answers to those questions. So very good job overall. A lot of good sentences, a lot of good expressions. Now let's see. Let me first share some of the good expressions that you had and some of the good sentences that you had. Maybe 1 or 2 of those. So you said in your third answer, you said these days we have a lot more tools to help us remember things. Excellent. Very good sentence. We have. We have a lot more tools to help us remember things, and so good job there. And you said also in the same one, you said reminders. We can set reminders on our phones. So good vocabulary there as well. Okay, and another good one. He said about if you're good at languages, you can become an interpreter. I'm going to check the spelling of this. This is a difficult word to spell, so I'm going to check it before I send it in.
It's all right.
Okay.
Can I have a question later on?
You can, absolutely. Yeah, sure. You can, but yeah. So I'll give you a chance to ask that question. If I forget, just remind me. And I'll
Okay.
Okay. So interpreter, you use that word well as well. So a lot of good stuff. Way more good sentences than inaccurate sentences, Wendy. So you didn't make many mistakes. Very few mistakes. Anyway, so to go, but I'm still going to correct some of the mistakes because you did, of course, make some mistakes. So maybe the most important one, the one thing you really need to learn is probably from your answer to question 2. Again, it was a very good answer, but you had this one mistake that's kind of important. You were talking about people, whatever it was, reckless people and some other kind of people, and you said, they are easy to forget things. They are easy to forget things.
Yeah.
So that's not right. That's
easy.
Correct.
It's easy for them to forget them.
Yes, that would be better. You could say it's easy for them to forget things. It's easy for them to forget things. Or how else? So that's good. That's one way. But there's also a better way to say that. And I'm going to ask everybody. If you can think of it, Wendy, that's fine. But I'm going to ask everybody as well. And
okay.
So anybody know how could Wendy say this, or how can we say this? Common han rongi wang ji shi. Okay, we've got a few answers. So Zoe says they tend to forget things. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's not what I'm thinking of, but it's pretty good. And Anna says, and Julia says, yes, this is what I'm thinking of. They forget things, or they can forget things easily. So to do something easily, it's not to be easy. It's not to be easy to do something. It's to do something easily. So they forget things easily. So that was the one kind of somewhat important mistake that you probably need to learn this expression, to do something easily, Wendy. So that was one. Another one in the last answer. So a very small little mistake, but you said all those vocabulary, whatever, they can remember all those vocabulary. So generally in English, vocabulary is uncountable. Vocabulary is uncountable. So what's the countable version of vocabulary?
Words.
Exactly. Yes. Remember all those words. Or you could say, remember all that vocabulary, or remember all those words.
Okay.
And then just one very tiny mistake. If it was another student, I wouldn't even mention this because other students would have many mistakes, but you had very few mistakes. So you said, everybody get. I can't remember what it was.
Everybody get, sorry.
Everybody, so it should be, I get, you get, everybody.
No.
It should be everybody gets.
Oh, yeah, get.
You just forgot the S. Yeah, everybody gets. Okay, so good job, Wendy. A lot of people are speculating about your score, about what score Wendy would get. So some people are saying she might get 9. Some people are saying just 6.5. Well, it's definitely more than 6.5, I would say, Wendy. Probably not 9 either, though. So to give Wendy her score and to really know Wendy's score, I'd have to talk to her for a longer time. I'd have to talk to her for more than like the 3 minutes that we talked for now. But I guess if she talked like that for the full exam, I guess she might get 8. I guess she could get 8.
Okay, that's enough.
Probably at least 7.5.
Yeah,
okay. So it seems like you're at a very high level, Wendy. But don't be sure about that because I just heard you speaking for 3 minutes. So to be sure about it, I'd need to hear you for a longer time. But anyway, good job with those questions. Thank you, Wendy. See you now.
I have a question. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, you did remind me. Okay, I did forget. Lucky I told you to remind me. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think I don't have much difficulty in talking about the topics I want to talk about. But the question is, I don't get enough time before I started because I'm just wondering how much time I can get before I can think of the answers before I give the answers. Because part 3, it's like a conversation. So sometimes I have some good ideas, but I can't express them totally in a logical way because I don't have time to think about it. So yeah, that's my
Okay,
Yeah,
so that's your question, right? So your answer is pretty much no time. You pretty much don't get any time. And so why? Why don't you get any time? Well, it's because it's what you're doing, Wendy, is you're having a conversation with someone. You're having a conversation with someone, and
Yeah.
one of the aspects of having a conversation is when somebody asks you a question, they don't want to wait for you to respond. You know, they're ready for you to respond now. And if somebody asks you a question in Chinese, it doesn't take you a long time to think of your response. It might take you a couple of seconds, and it's the same in English. If it takes a couple of seconds, then that's fine, but you don't have any real amount of time to respond. It's just a conversation, and in a conversation, even if we're asked a question about something that we've never thought of before, we are expected to think about it then, to think about it at that moment. And as we're thinking about it, to start making words with our mouth that explain our thoughts. And so basically, yeah, you don't have any time really. You just have like a few seconds, like you would have in any conversation. So that's the situation. But as you as you practice more, it'll become easier. But it probably won't ever be really, really easy, because the whole point of an exam is to challenge you. You know, and the exam will challenge you, and this is one of the challenging aspects of the exam, is that you have to listen to a question and then respond to the question pretty much immediately. Okay. All right, Wendy.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
Okay. No problem. Okay. Good job. Thank you. Okay. Right. I'm going to get the next student. And let me get a random number again. This time it's number 8, but we only have 6 students, so I'll get another random number, and this one is number 3. Okay. Hello. Shaya, is it? Oh yeah, Shaya's microphone hasn't come on yet, so I'm gonna wait for that for a second. And so yeah, as I said, sometimes it takes a few seconds or 10 seconds or more for a microphone to come on, but I think it's on now. Hello, Shaya, can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah. Okay, Shaya. So a couple of more questions for you about forgetting things and remembering things. Question number one.
Okay.
So for forgetful people, is there anything that they can do to improve their memories?
I don't think if there is really a thing to improve their memories, because for the forgettable people, they tend to forget things unconsciously. So it's better remind them for more times rather than to help them to remember something just for one time.
So if somebody has a bad memory and they find it difficult to remember things, is there nothing they can do? Are they always going to have a bad memory for their whole lives?
I think it depends on how much they precious what they think it is worthy for them to remember, to memory, like the birthdays of their relatives or their close friends, and they must have a better memory on that. But for other things, like more culture occasions, they may forget things.
Okay. In general, do our phones help us to remember important things, or do they generally cause us to forget important things?
In fact, the phone does help a lot in people's life, and if they put something down in the reminder, and they keep the phone with them, it will be much easier for them to remember things. But if the mobile phone went out of batteries, it must be a horrible occasion.
Why?
Because when their mobile phones are shut down, and they may have no chance to check what they had put down on the mobile phones. Even so, it's the right time for them to do something. They tend to forget them without a toy. Okay.
Okay, right. Okay, Shreya. So thank you for those answers. All right. So, so of course, those are kind of difficult questions there, Shreya, and you did well to kind of keep going and to produce some answers, and your answers were reasonably logical, but it was a struggle. I could see, or I could hear you were kind of struggling there, and struggling to finish your sentences and to like start the next sentence and stuff like that. So you did okay, but not fantastic. So you did reasonably well, but not fantastically well. So let's see, a couple of corrections. So the first question was about is there anything forgetful people can do to improve their memories? So in that one, you said you used the expression forgettable people. So it's not forgettable people. It's it should be forgetful people.
Okay.
Forgetful people. So yeah, can forgetful people improve their memories? And then so in the second one, you use the expression to memory. So memory is just a noun. So memory is just a noun. So I think what you meant there was to remember, not to memory. Memory cannot be a verb. It's just a noun. And then in the third one, you were talking about how if somebody's phone battery dies and they have some like important information on it, and you said it must be a horrible occasion. It must be a horrible occasion. And so we can't really use occasion there. Not occasion, but you could. So a couple of things you could say. You could say it must be a horrible experience. Or it must be a horrible maybe experience or situation. Probably it must be a horrible situation or a horrible experience, but maybe not a horrible occasion. An occasion is kind of like an event or something like that. Okay. All right, so those are the main points, Shreya. So thank you. Right. And if you've got any questions, I'm going to give everybody a chance to ask questions at the end of the class. But now I'm going to do our last student. So this is your last chance to talk today. So if anybody else wants to talk, we've got 6 people waiting. But if anybody else wants to talk, then now is the time to put up your hand, because this is going to be our last student of the day for part 3. Our last person who's going to get a chance to talk. Okay, so I'm going to get a random number from my phone. And this time it's number 1. Hello.
Hello. Hi, John.
What's your English name?
Agalaya.
That's not really a name.
It's a little bit difficult. It's like, yeah. From
where did you get that name? What?
From Europe. It's a small, yeah. It's small, not very common, yeah.
Yeah, from, did you say it's from Greece?
Yeah.
Okay.
From Greece.
And why did you pick this name?
Well, because my Chinese name means sunshine. So I want to choose an English name which is related to my Chinese name. So I choose this name, and I really
why is this related to sunshine?
Because it's from you know, the history. It's from a historic
so try and
like
choose
this.
in the future. Try and choose an English name. Okay, this might be a Greek name, but remember you're not learning Greek. Okay, if you're learning Greek, then you can choose Agalaya and.
But it's okay. But I work in some foreign group. They think it's okay. They like my name. They think it's very unique. Yeah.
It is very unique. That's not a good thing in a name when you're a Chinese person learning English. When you're a Chinese person learning English, your name should be something that if you say it to a person one time, they can remember it. Okay, you shouldn't have to like pronounce it 3 or 4 times and for them to remember. It should be a name that people have heard of before, that they can immediately think, okay, this person's name is fucking Mary or something, and they at least can remember that and can store that name easily in their brain. All right, anyway, let's get on to the practice, to part 3 practice. Okay. So what kinds of things are easy to forget generally?
Well, I think some small things are easy to like people to forget, such as phone numbers and some keys and just small things we need to do on the daily basics. And so because this is, we can use some electronic devices to help us to remember. So we are easily to forget by ourselves.
And what kinds of people often forget things?
Sorry, the connection is not that good.
No problem. What kinds of people often forget things?
Well, I think the elderly are more likely to forget things because their memory is not that good. They are old and sometimes they just don't have a good health condition. So they're easily to forget what they want to do and in the future, and just small things. Maybe some elder people got some serious disease, and that will influence their memory in their life.
Okay. And the last question. So, is there anything that a forgetful person can do to improve their memory?
Well, I think there are many ways to help them. Like they can do some practice and to help them to remember things correctly and quickly. And also, and they can use some electronic devices that I mentioned, that like mobile phone or computer. There are
so does that really improve their memories? I'm sure it helps them to remember things, but does it improve their ability to remember things?
Ability to remember. So I don't know this kind of information in my life, so I just want them to use some tools and to do that work. I think if they cannot to remember things correctly, and maybe they can do some practice and so on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. First two answers, not too bad. So pretty logical answers. The third one, you didn't really get the meaning of the question. So let's look at the question again.
I know the meaning, but I don't know what way and they can do. I really don't know.
Well, then you could say no. Then you could say something like, no, I don't think there's anything that forgetful people can do to improve their memories. I think that if you're a forgetful person, you're just stuck with a bad memory and you're not going to be able to remember things. And it's unfortunate, but that's just how I feel. You could say that. And so you don't have to say yes. You could say no. There's no problem with saying no. But anyway, so what are some ideas about how to improve your memory? This is important. Everybody should know this. There are lots of things you can do to improve your memory. Number one, you can look at your sleep. So if you're not sleeping enough, then you can get more sleep. That will definitely improve your memory. Number two, if you don't exercise, doing physical exercise will improve your memory. That's completely scientifically proven. So you can do physical exercise. Moving your body will make your brain work better, and it will help you to remember things and give you a better memory. And number three, fish oil. So fish oil has some fatty acids in it. Fatty acids are basically what make up your brain. So there's stuff in fish oil that is basically the same stuff that makes your brain. So if you take fish oil, that has been proven also to improve your memory, give you a better memory. Then there are some other supplements. So many different supplements that people can take for their memories. Let's see, I've got one here. This is a mushroom supplement, lion's mane mushroom. This is just basically a mushroom,
Wow.
And there are lots of different mushrooms that have been proven to help people improve their memories. And there's lots of other things, lots of other stuff that people can do to improve their memories, regardless of whether they have a good memory or a bad memory, and many things. You could talk about lots of other. So reducing sugar intake. So if somebody eats a lot of sugar and they stop eating sugar, then their memory will get better and they will have an improved memory. Okay, so a lot of ideas there. Now, in terms of the language, so some good stuff, some good sentences in your first two answers. Your pronunciation was pretty good. The first two answers were not bad generally, but you made the same mistake twice, and it's the same mistake that I already talked to Wendy about. So remember, I'm not sure if you listened to Wendy, but I said Wendy had one important mistake. Do you remember what that was? Remember, she spoke very well, but there was one thing that one important mistake that she made.
Sorry, I don't remember. That's why
No problem, right.
make this mistake.
So we already talked about this. So in English, how do we say "很容易做某一件事情"? For example, 很容易忘记事情. How do we say that in English? 比如说
People are more likely to forget things on the daily basis.
No, more likely is similar, but it's like likely is to do with 可能性. So it's not to do with it's not to do with things being wrong.
Tend to.
Same. So anyway, right. So you said a couple of things. We are easily to forget things, and you said they are easily to forget what they want to do. So it's we forget things easily.
Okay. Okay.
We forget things
They
easily.
forget
They easily forget what they want to do. Okay, so in English, when you want to say 很容易做某一件事情, that is to do something easily. So, for example, 我吃太多的时候很容易发胖. That's when I eat too much, I get fat easily. It's not I am easily to get fat, it's I get fat easily. And it's the same with hard. 很难做某一件事情. That is, it's hard to do something or it's difficult to do something. It's not to be difficult to do something or to be hard to do something. Okay, so that's the most important one because many students get this wrong. Even high-level students get this wrong. So it's a type of mistake that examiners hate because they hear it all the time. So it's very important that you learn the correct way to express this idea. Another one.
Okay.
I think you said they don't have a good health condition. They don't have a good health condition. So I know what you mean here, but we wouldn't say to have a good health condition or to have a bad health condition. Can you think of another way to say that?
They have some problems in their body. They have sick or disease. They got some disease.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. Okay. Yeah, you could say they are sick. They are sick. So
they are weak.
I wonder. Weak is kind of different. Weak is like the opposite of strong. So I'm gonna ask this to everybody. Let's see who can come up with some good ways to say this. So basically, how could you express in English? 他们身体状态不太好. How could we say this in English? Okay, we've already got some answers. So Zoe says to be in poor health. Good. You could say they are in poor health. So it's to be in poor health. And the next person says yes, they are not in good health. Good. Wendy says they are unhealthy. Good. Yeah, that's a good one as well. So yeah, it's to be in poor health. I'll write that for you.
To be in poor health, okay.
Yeah, or bad health is okay as well. To be unhealthy is another good one. Somebody saying not in a good condition. No. So in Chinese you would say 身体状态, but we wouldn't say condition for health in English. We wouldn't really say condition for health in English. We just say to be in poor health, or to be in good health, or to be healthy, or to be unhealthy. Okay. All right. Thank you for your answers. Those are the main points. And now I'm going to give. You're welcome. And now I'm going to give everybody a chance to ask questions. So we're at the end of the class. So I wonder if anybody has any questions for me to answer. I'm going to spend a few minutes answering questions if you have some. So 如果 有任何关于外语学习的或者关于雅思准备的问题，你可以现在提问一下。So you can send the questions to me in the text box if you've got any questions. And if we don't have any questions, then that's fine. We can end the class at the moment. We can end the class right now. I'm going to give everybody about 30 seconds to think of any questions. And if you have them, great. If not, that's great too. So today our class was on Saturday, and this is the first time we've had a class on Saturday. And so I'm not sure if we're going to, I think we're going to go back to Thursday next week, because Thursday is our usual day. But 2 weeks ago, I couldn't do it on Thursday because I had something to do on Thursday, something else. And then last week, again, I couldn't do it on Thursday, so we had to move the last two. Okay, so finally, we've got some questions. One person says, I always get nervous easily. How can I avoid that? Very broad question. I guess you mean in the exam. How can you avoid getting nervous in the exam? But it's the same, regardless of whether it's the exam or you get nervous when you talk to new people or you get nervous when you go swimming or whatever. You've just got to do the thing that makes you nervous. You've just got to do the thing that makes you nervous. And so if you're talking about you get nervous in the IELTS exam, well then before the IELTS exam, you should spend like 50 hours or 100 hours doing one-to-one speaking with a native speaker in English. And then when you do the exam, you'll still be nervous because everybody's nervous, but you'll be much less nervous. So a lot of the reasons why people are nervous in the exam is because they're not used to talking to foreigners. And that's ridiculous. You should be used to talking to foreigners before you take the exam. So one thing you can do, so whatever it is that makes you nervous, the best way to not be nervous when you do that thing is to practice doing it. So if talking to foreigners makes you nervous, then that's the thing you have to do to get over those nerves and to get over that fear. You've got to talk to different foreigners. Okay. Let's see. Anna, 如果用 Rosetta Stone 学法语，oh, sorry, the questions keep moving. So Anna is asking about Rosetta Stone. So 她想知道如果用 Rosetta Stone 学习法语，它可以达到什么级别？你不会达到什么级别？我觉得最好不用 Rosetta Stone。我好多年前用 Rosetta Stone 学中文，但是我只用了一段时间，就是很短的一段时间，也许几个月。然后在经常学习外语的人中，在有很多外语学习经验的人中。Rosetta Stone 有很多好的名气，没有人推荐用 Rosetta Stone。所以如果你关注我公众号，我推荐很多很不错的外语学习软件，特别是 Link、Atlassica、Anki，但是我不推荐用 Rosetta Stone。我基本上没有认识了任何通过用 Rosetta Stone 学会外语的人，没有。我认识了很多用过 Rosetta Stone 的人，但是没有人通过用 Rosetta Stone 学会外语，我觉得那是不可能。Okay. Let's see. Some more questions. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get your questions, but it's hard to get back up. So Shaya says, how could we ask our language partners to keep on with IELTS topics instead of others? Seems Western people hate to do things that you ask. Okay. Right. So yeah. So basically. Shaya's problem here, right? So Shaya 想准备雅思，然后他好像交了一些语言交换伙伴，然后他有特别做哪些语言交换，特别用来哪些语言交换，准备雅思，所以他好像给他的语言交换伙伴发那些雅思问题，但是他们不愿意继续问他那些雅思问题。所以Shaya，我觉得那个有点难，取决于你的语言交换伙伴，取决于那个人有什么类型的性格。所以如果他是特别喜欢学习外语，然后他真的需要你的帮助来学习中文，那然后你给他很多帮助，你真的帮助他学习中文，那我觉得在大多数情况中，他会帮助你准备雅思，然后如果你给他发一些雅思问题，他就会问你哪些问题。 但是有一些人不是特别认真学习外语，然后有一些人只是用语言交换来，可以说有一些男人只用语言交换来找女孩子，来找美女，然后他们一点都不关注外语学习，所以你也是遇到了那样的人，我不知道，但是不管怎么样，如果那个人不想问你雅思问题，但是他还是问你就是很基本的关于你生活，关于你的兴趣爱好和不同类型的话题的问题，那个也很有帮助。所以只要你跟他讲英语，只要他问你英语的问题，然后你用英语回答，那都是帮助你的英语。然后除非你给他付钱，你不能逼迫他只问雅思的问题。所以如果他不要做，那你没办法。但是如果你可以找到一些很认真的外语学生，他们应该很愿意帮助你准备雅思，因为他们会需要你的帮助来学习中文。Okay, next question. It would be great if we could do it on a later time. Okay, that's another question. Let's see. Next one, Nash. I am talking about story from a novel and I pronounce the names wrong. Are these also count as mistakes? Yeah, they count as pronunciation mistakes. If you pronounce the names incorrectly, they count as pronunciation mistakes. Let's see. Any other questions? No, I don't think so. Okay, guys, that's it for today's class. 所以谢谢大家参加今天的直播。我还是不一定下个礼拜的直播是哪一天举行的，但是只要关注我这边的 CC Talk， 关注我微信公众号，我们会通知大家。下课以后，请给今天的课点评，请给我们一个好的评价。然后yeah，没有其他的。Okay, thanks guys. See you next time. Bye bye.